5 system services that we offer in a Meteor Hammer.
Can you straighten the projector? The projector sengit, the thing also sengit. Okay. Alright.
So this is actually is an overall of the workflow.
Okay, good.
Of the 5 system services, how it works from the at the back end. Actually, from the left side, this left side is actually is a Meteor Hammer part, and this right side is actually is a scheme workstation. This is a scheme our scheme. So I would like to tell you that actually we have
look at us.
2 workstations. One is Meteor Hammer, another one is a scheme workstations.
Oh, not 1, 2.
So this is the scheme workstations. The last time we used to develop our system service, and this is the Meteor Hammer. So it's a 2 different platform. Actually, what we developed in the Meteor Hammer is having a connections to our scheme. When you see this one, this is the Meteor Hammer workflow. For example, you can assume that this is the workflow.
You have the pointer,
this is the one of the workflow, like example, retrieve video. Initial pairing. Sorry. So this is the proxy that we developed. This is the workflow from the front until the response. But basically, this is the point. This is the point.
It's pointer.
To the scheme workstations. If you see this flow, and then you will see the flow.
No, you don't need to forward there because you can use the button. Alright.
This is the workflow in our scheme workstations, and this is the flow in the Meteor Hammer. So it's actually we have 2 flow. 2 flow is connected by this because we are using an API calling
laser
from the Meteor Hammer to the scheme workstations. So this is the part that we make it
2 instance of scheme OS.
Yeah.
Not efficient lah.
No, I think there's actually 2 versions right now. One version is actually with the older version is called Scheme OS. The latest version is called actually Meteor Hammer. We are no longer using Scheme OS to develop the services. So that was the old version. Now all people is using the Meteor Hammer to develop the services.
But for this flow, it actually still use both.
No, what Shane is trying to tell is this Meteor Hammer or a Scheme OS allow us to configure the workflow processes inside. The services require certain level of workflow in there, right? So what they're demonstrating this one is, first one is actually demonstrating on the workflow of Scheme OS. The second is actually demonstrating the new way of developing via Meteor Hammer.
I think I'm more interested on how you do it in Meteor Hammer.
Of course, I think Meteor Hammer is actually the target we are looking at right now, right? So you should explain more on the Meteor Hammer to them.
So basically, what we did in the older version in Scheme Workstation, the way that we do it is actually same the way we do it in Meteor Hammer. Just the GUI, the graphic user interface is a little bit different, but the functionality inside this screen, these workstations, is the same.
The trainer going to ask, is there any improvement on the new version?
Improvement, what do you mean by
Let's look at the previous slide. No, that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then the Meteor Hammer. No. Next. The 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Processing steps.
Right.
processing.
Isn't it?
Or anything else.
Ah.
Yeah, this is the
The-
one that we developed. This component is actually act as a proxy,
Ah.
so that this proxy can forward the message to the older version scheme workstation to do the authorization or anything else. Do you understand?
But workstation for
Okay.
me is the configuration, or instead I say the IDE for Scheme OS.
Yeah,
Am I say that?
Yeah, it's true.
So that this for this statement that you mentioned just now, you are passing the instruction from one IDE to the other older IDE.
Yes.
Or why? Why you want to do that?
Why you want to do that? Because last time we.
No, because when you start up this, I'm eagerly want to hear how you actually, you say you already in Matthew Hamel, you already produce couples of services, you expose it to others can consume, right?
Expose to the other.
So how you
services.
actually construct these services through Matthew Hamel? But you start up from the workstation, right? Workstation is just to draw out the processing step. It's the design time. The design time. Alright. But that's a bit confused that.
To belong is development. It's to development to
Yes.
test whether it's working or not in our workstation.
Yeah, the processing step. Yeah.
So that we move to the Meteor Hammer. After we try in the older scheme workstation, then we try to move it to the Meteor Hammer.
Or you use the old one to draw, to construct, then you migrate to Matthew Hammer, the latest version to run. And
The only the way that we can do is this part, the MSSP. The Meteor Hammer, this proxy. So this will be act as a proxy, so that it able to send the message to our older scheme workstation.
But when you say send message, it's an MSET, you got this.
MSET message.
But then you running both version, the runtime, the both runtime.
That means both have to be up.
But when I want to consume your service, let's say I'm from the mobile channel, I'm from BDS channel, I want to consume your so-called geolocation service. So I'm actually contacting to your Matthew Hammer instance, right?
Yeah, correct.
That you encapsulate with your services.
Yeah. So you are actually connecting to our Meteor Hammer services. It's not the older scheme
Then
workstation.
this proxy, then I still cannot get what's the purpose for this proxy. No, I think it's okay. So, no, the reason I ask is my team going to involve in this as well. So I need to reconstruct back my understanding, my own understanding. That's why a bit confusing for me.
The main reason I'm not sure, but
the main reason actually, like we started Scheme OS long year ago,
Yes.
a year plus ago, that was actually Scheme OS without Meteor Hammer.
Yes,
So when
workstation,
Meteor Hammer is
yeah.
being released, right, for the sake of the time frame that we had to meet certain timeline, right?
Yeah.
We are actually using this to consume the services on Scheme OS. So when you come in as a newly developed services, you shall do it in Meteor Hammer. 100% in Meteor Hammer.
But so right now your services is all under the Scheme OS runtime.
So that's transition period. Because Hengui just released this not long ago.
That means it's not yet. That means right now, if I want to consume your GeoGate services through the MSET I pass it in, because I'm external channel. So like Lee BDS. So that means I'm consuming your we call the Scheme OS instance, right? So it's not the Matthew Hammer instance anymore.
No, you
And
can
then
consume Meteor Hammer.
We consume one Meteor. You don't care how we implement at the back.
or actually,
Consume by
that's the purpose of the proxy lah. So
Yeah.
that's why you proxy over.
Yeah.
Or during the runtime lah.
Right.
Okay. Actually, I don't need to know this because more
Correct.
complicated for me later on. So I just straight away jump to
Meteor
Meteor.
Hammer.
This is for our
Hey,
internal.
but by the way, guys, since you have been using that word, please correct that word. Yeah, it's not meteor.
Meteor.
Meteor Hammer.
Meteor Hammer.
Meteor Hammer, not Meteor Hammer. Meteor Hammer. Meteor Hammer. Meteor Hammer.
Because I only learned this word from the Google.
Dia punya bunyi
the Chinese Because I learned I know the Chinese word 流星锤 because it's Chinese kung fu weapon.
That one what? Rock from
It's a weapon.
rock from heaven.
No, it's a weapon of the Chinese kung fu. With iron string, right? That joining up the iron ball.
Iron
and
ball.
at the end of iron ball, there's a lot of sharp edge.
How many ball?
So
One
when
ball
you
or two
throw
balls?
to the
How many ball? How many ball? One ball or two balls?
Depends your capability. You can
Oh.
more than two.
Guys, please.
Yeah. Okay.
So to be able to create the workflow, component processes, all those things that we need to do. Basically, there are few.
Take your hand out of your pocket.
Basically, there are few.
Look at us. Look at us. Look at us. More looking at us than looking to the screen.
Basically, there are few steps that we need to go through, and so that we are able to complete the workflow. So, for example, in our older scheme workstations, we have to create a component process. We have to do the mapping, and we also have to create a process. So the component context we have to create because we want to use the component context. The component context is a few declarations like login ID, user ID, your password, all those things. So the process, the component is actually attached to the process. So when we create the process, we want to do the binding inside. The purpose that we create the process is we are able to perform the code logic inside, so that for example you can take example like you log in, you perform the login, you need the logic behind. You need to have the code and then perform the logic to authorize this person to log in. So this is the one that we create in here, applications. So the mapping is for the mapping at the front, at the front line. It's coming as an MSET message. Then we need to do the mapping to the AIT message. So this is how we do it in our scheme workstations. This is the first thing that we do the mapping here.
The AIT to component context is the same mapping. Use the same mapping.
We call this a binding.
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 Okay.
Mapping is happen on the MSET to the AIT. AIT to the MSET. Yeah. So basically what we have do in a scheme older work versions will be the same as we do in a Meteor Hammer. Just the differences between them is the graphic user interface only. You can see here is actually we have the application components, process transactions. Same as here. You will see the older version will be the same.
Where? What is the older
Application,
version?
component, transactions, and mapping. So these are the 4 things that we do during our creation of system services.